Welcome to AgriVista, where we explore topics in agriculture. This show is produced by the digital media students at BVU for you. Remember, at BVU, we are developing your future, one experience at a time. I am here today with Rich Crow, and we are discussing the idea that an entrepreneur's time is valuable. Can you explain to me what that means by an entrepreneur's time is valuable?
You know, when you think about somebody that's an entrepreneur, they're a businessman who's working for themselves, right? And how does he make money? Well, it's to use his time to generate something that somebody's willing to pay for. And, in life, there are so many things you can do. The list is endless of all the different things you could do. And so it's important for an entrepreneur to narrow down and identify what particular things am I going to do that's going to generate money for me? Because at the end of the day, that's what gives you revenue and income. And, at the end of the day, I could go work for somebody and make $10, $15, $20 an hour. And so I have to consider that if I'm not making money doing what I'm doing, am I better off working for somebody else? And if I can't make at least what I'm going to make working for, say, John Deere or somebody else, then why am I doing what I'm doing when my time could be better compensated someplace else?
Yeah, that's really interesting. So as an entrepreneur, how can I determine what my time is worth, like you were talking about?
That's an interesting question because there's no set in stone. It'd be nice if you just go on the computer, type in what's my time worth, and boom, there's the answer. But unfortunately, that's not the case. One way to do it is to say, if I was to go work for somebody else, what would they pay me? And then obviously you'd have to factor in costs that they incur for you for health insurance and for other taxes and things. But that would give you a ballpark to say, okay, well, you know what? If I went to work for John Deere or somebody else locally, I'd be making $25 an hour. And so now you begin to look at the things and opportunities you have in front of you and say, okay, which of these will pay me at least $25 an hour? And if some of them don't pay at least that, then maybe I'm better off just going to work for them because my time would be better compensated there. So that's one way. Another way is to look at what others are charging for what you're doing. Maybe there's somebody locally, or maybe there's somebody over by Chicago, let's say, that's doing a similar thing. And so you look and you say, okay, what does he make? And then you can, obviously Storm Lake's going to be probably a little cheaper place to live, maybe not quite as, but it'll give you an idea like, hey, somebody else is charging $50 an hour to do this. Maybe I shouldn't be charging $5 an hour. Maybe I need to look at something that's a little closer to what others are charging.
So you talked about that a little bit with exploring those different options. So as an entrepreneur, how can I determine what those other opportunities would be worth?
Again, that's the challenge. Sometimes, especially as an entrepreneur, you're sometimes doing things that other people aren't. That's the whole idea of the entrepreneur, right? I'm identifying a niche and I'm filling that niche. Let's take a popular one. Drones are a new idea. And the idea that you can take a drone, you can fly it over a cornfield, or you can fly it up and get a different picture of a house, there's not a lot of people doing that. And so one way to look at it is, what is somebody willing to pay for that? How much value does it have to the consumer?
Yeah, that's very interesting. Thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk to us today. And thank you guys for joining us today for another edition of AgriVista. Remember, at Buena Vista University, we are building your future in agriculture one experience at a time. For more information, visit www.bvu.edu.